My name's David Churchill. I'm lecturer in criminal justice here in the Centre for Criminal Justice Studies at the School of Law. What I try to do in my research is, it's not just history in a sense. What I try to do is something more like historical criminology. What I think of historical criminology is using the past to inform the present. And so what that really entails in the case of policing is thinking about how the police was structured in the early 19th century and how it was set up and how that's persisted through time. And also thinking about what are the parallels between what was going on back then and what is going on now. Parallels which sometimes are acknowledged but sometimes people forget. And I've also done work on the long-term history of security as well. The history of it is mostly physical because there weren't so many computers back then. But there are parallels between the two as well. So when you look back at Victorian lockpicking competitions, for example, which is a peculiar little subject that I came across, you find many parallels with contemporary cyber hacking as well. The idea that companies are purposely testing their own security in order to check that their products, antivirus products, firewalls, etc., are up to date. That's exactly the same as what the Victorian locksmiths were doing. They were taking their locks out and saying to rival companies, if you pick this, then I'll give you a reward. So in that way, there's a kind of self-competition and self-improvement within the industry. And so you can see there's some surprising parallels really between what's going on in 19th century security and what's going on in contemporary cybersecurity. The research and the teaching are very much complementary in my eyes. So by background, I'm a historian, and so my research is all historical, and that brings, I think, a different perspective to what students often find, both in their readings and in their teaching. So I think it enlivens things, it refreshes things, it invites them to think about the problems that they're studying in a slightly different way. But then at the same time, a lot of the teaching that I do is on contemporary criminal justice and criminological subjects. And that allows me then to think about my research in a different way. How do these concepts apply to the things that I'm looking at in the past? Or how can these phenomena that we're studying in the contemporary period, do they find parallels in the past or not? One of the things that I try to do is I try to use my research or disseminate my research to audiences outside of the university. So I've done a little bit of media work before, a little bit of local media work and a little bit of sort of online media work. And what that tries to do is try to show how my research is interesting or relevant today. Well, the Centre for Criminal Justice Studies is really a very good home for me because it's very interdisciplinary. So at many criminology departments I stick out like a sore thumb. I'd be the historian in the gang, which would be confusing and wouldn't really help anybody. But at Leeds, it's a much more sort of vibrant and a much more interdisciplinary community, much more diverse backgrounds. There are sociologists, psychologists, lawyers, criminal justice scholars, historians, all kinds of people. And they bring all different perspectives to the subject, and they bring all different perspectives to the teaching. And it enriches the whole environment, really. And I feel at home in a place like this in which I wouldn't at many sort of straight criminology departments. One of the aspirations that both I and the Centre share is developing historical criminology as an area of research. I think this is something which we have a real strength in here at the Centre for Criminal Justice Studies, and it's something that I want to develop personally and I think can become a real strength for the Centre as well.